Good morning, everyone. I am Melanie Youngsma of the Lansing Journal, and this is not Josh Bootsma, our managing editor. This morning, Josh is behind the camera so that I can sit here and talk to Tom Iwema of IKG Property Maintenance. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, how are you?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We thought it would be fun to talk to Tom because Tom is in the business of painting and cleaning or mold remediation for residential, but also commercial and industrial.
Yep.
And in fact, Tom's crews are the ones who painted the Lansing Journal offices and studio. So we thought this would be a good chance to show off the work. Right, it's only a week old. But Tom, let's talk about you.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the businesses around this area that you have done work for.
Yeah. So hopefully you're familiar with the new great brunch place in town, breakfast place in town, Golden Bear in Lansing.
Yes.
On the Torrance Avenue. We designed that, built that out with a team, and painted and refinished the booths and tables in there. So
when you say design, what does that mean?
So we're a painting contractor, and we do certified mold remediation. But myself as an owner, I kind of like dabble in other side things. So when the owner of Golden Bear hired us to do the painting, he realized that I knew a lot of other stuff and other backgrounds. So we basically designed the entire color scheme, designed what the inside of the restaurant was going to look like, where everything goes where, and I knew people in the spaces that know how to do more restaurant build outs build outs in general for commercial and industrial spaces. So they helped us, and we put it all together, and it came together, I think, pretty nice.
So that's a big job.
Yeah, it was actually it was a probably 9-10 month project, COVID was going on, so they had a lot of delays for, products and contractors being delayed for various reasons. So it took a little longer than anticipated, but made it work. It's open now, and it's a great place for the Lansing community to meet up. Down the street, also on Torrance, the former Iwema Christian High School is owned by a church now. We renovated the inside of that for them.
I think I saw pictures of that. Their youth wing, they did like a road down the hallway.
Yeah, so right? I also, another side thing of mine, they asked me if I knew much about how to do that kind of floor artwork stuff, and which we do, and I did myself. So for a couple weeks I was there painstakingly, designing, laying out, and painting a road, epoxy coating, and they have a road kind of like laid out in their children's wing, going to all different rooms, and because their theme was like a town for the kid area. Cute. So we laid all that out and designed all that as well. And the outside of I think they call it the new gym, the newer gym of the former Ileana, the outside of that, we sprayed that nice gray color now from the peeling green they had. So,
so that's Freedom Church.
Yep. We do Brookfield Zoo, we're like their painter for larger projects. They have their own in-house teams, but we do the larger projects they can't tackle.
Is that paint or is that cleaning?
It's both, yeah. So we've done painting and mold remediation for them. All their buildings are, very old, and they're all historical buildings, so they can't modify them. So we have to have a specialized company that knows what they're doing to go in there and do what they want to do. So they hire us and call us.
So is most of your work commercial and industrial, or how much of your work is residential?
About 50% still. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing this for about 10 years, through my own company. So it used to be, 90% residential, 10 commercial. Now we're 50-50. So getting more in the commercial space. So.
Do you have any advice for residential people who might be considering painting? What is the point where it's better to just hire a professional than to try and do something yourself?
I always tell people ceilings. A lot of people are like, I'm just going to paint my house, which is great. That totally can. But I think a lot of people underestimate the challenges it takes to paint ceilings, especially larger, vaulted ceilings, the skylights, and going down towards the stairs, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, by all means, bedrooms are pretty simple. But, we kind of encourage looking into contractors for your larger projects, especially like outsides, right? A lot of people, ladders are huge, liabilities, and sometimes even like on large houses you need aerial lifts because they even on a residential house because the way they pitch the roofs and other things. So a lot of people don't think about those details.
You and I were talking about flat paint versus semi-gloss because I wanted flat paint in here because we do videos and lighting and we didn't want any reflections.
Yeah.
And you said flat paint is good
Mm-hmm.
because it's easier to touch up, right?
Right. Yeah. I always like people when they paint. Like I tell them when they're choosing their color, like the sheens rather, that like in homes, if you don't have super young kids, it's easier just to have flat paint because you can just touch it up versus a lot of people want the shinier paint so they can clean it. But it's a lot of times, even after you clean it, you're gonna see where you cleaned because the sheen might be dulled down depending on what cleaning product you use or depending on the type of paint in terms of the brand, right? A cheaper grade versus a higher grade. So, yeah, essentially, I think I like to tell people to do flat, paint in homes because you can touch it up easier. I mean, your bathrooms and your kitchens where they might get more water splashed on the wall, maybe do a satin or even a semi because it's a little more water resistant. But yeah, flat paint's great for touch up.
Are there any specific colors that are trending right now in homes?
The grays and whites. I mean, we all see the HGTV, HGTV shows where everything's white and gray. That actually is a thing. People are doing it. I think it looks okay. I'm not knocking it, but it's a trend. I don't know if it'll stay, a style for long, or maybe we'll make it wait. Maybe it'll go out for 20 years and come back. Who knows? But grays, light, medium grays, and then white woodwork is the thing now. So. If you want the modern look, that's what we're looking at.
How long does a trend usually last?
Probably, 20 years probably.
Really?
I feel like 15 maybe. I mean, you look at like 1980 through, or 1970 through like 1990, right? That was like the wallpaper craze, right? And then wallpaper is coming back. So I mean,
it is?
And it has been coming back for about 10 years now. It's for accents and like accent walls, borders. I don't think we're getting to like the full blown wallpaper, whole house kind of thing again. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like trends are 10, 15, 20 years.
Does your crew do wallpaper too?
Yeah, we install wallpaper too. Very rarely, but we do because people they catch up on again more of the TV shows that promote all that stuff.
Now, Tom, I first met you a few years ago. You are a graduate of Trinity Christian College, right?
Yep.
And at the time, a couple of years ago, I don't know if this is still true, but Trinity had a program for local businesses.
Yep.
They had a class where students were learning to be entrepreneurs, and they wanted to reach out into the community and help the surrounding community so businesses could get help from these entrepreneurial students.
Right.
Is that how it worked?
Yeah.
And you started that program, didn't you?
Yeah, so when I was a student at Trinity 8 years ago as a freshman, we wanted to start a business incubator and help local businesses. It took us 4 years to actually get that off the ground. When I was going to graduate, it was finally becoming a thing. We had physical space for on campus, fundraised the money to do it, build it all out. But that, with me graduating, they actually ended up hiring me and my friend and our co-founder with me. And so we actually worked there for 2 years together. So that was about 2 years ago now. But 2 years we worked there and physically built it out, like actually built out the space, and then built out all the curriculum, well, not really curriculum, but the programming and, what we offered other businesses. And so local businesses, even in the Lansing area, it doesn't matter where you are, students there, they work on like projects for local businesses. They get charged, but like it's because it's a consulting type thing. But I mean, these are students, workers, so they're learning. They're being guided by professors that have had the industry experience. But because you have that student-professor dynamic, it's a lot cheaper than hiring another different consulting company, and you're also helping students in the process. So it's a pretty cool program, and it's still going strong. It's called Fusion 59. So.
Fusion 59.
Yep.
Yes. So it was a couple years ago when I reached out, and I don't remember where I heard about the program, but I sent an email and got an email back or something, and I remember going to Trinity and finding the Fusion 59 room, and we sat there it was like a think tank,
Yeah.
We met, and you were there, and a couple of other students or graduates
Yep.
who had started their own businesses were there, and you guys were talking to me about the Lansing Journal and how we could grow and things that we should be aware of and marketing things and all of that. And it was very helpful. Mm-hmm. And it was fascinating for me to see that these were students who were learning how to be entrepreneurs.
Right.
That's not something I learned in school, and I needed help. So to to be able to meet with you guys who were already in the business world, who already had more experience than I did starting a business. That was helpful.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. We call it field experience. You know, like there's one thing of learning it in a textbook, and another thing like actually going out and doing it. So I think Trinity equips their students well in doing that. So.
And do you have any free advice for budding entrepreneurs that might be watching this?
Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your business. I mean, a lot of people
No such thing as overnight success.
No, it's like any marketing campaign. You know, they want the instant results. It's like you got to lay a lot of groundwork first before you start getting the solid return on your investment. So
Good to know.
yeah.
Anything else our viewers should know about IKG? What does IKG stand for?
I own my own company through high school, and then I merged with my friend who actually had a similar company. So his last name was Kerfin, so it was Iwema Kerfin Group, and then he went to college, I went to college. I stayed around local at Trinity, because I live right around Trinity, and he went off to college, so I basically bought out that partnership, but I never changed the name, because I get distracted and life happens, so I kind of just kept the name, it stuck, so almost 10 years later, still IKG.
And you have an ad running on the Lansing Journal right now.
I've actually gone to a couple businesses in town, and they see the IKG, and he was like, "Well, I just saw your ad I was at the computer." I was like, "Oh, good, the Lansing Journal marketing's paying off."
Hear that, local businesses?
Yeah.
And we will also include a link to IKG Property Maintenance, your website, in the text of this video.
Yeah, that's good.
So if you have painting needs or
Hopefully not mold, but if you do,
and you're willing to admit it, call Tom.
yeah. Or if you're selling your house, because that comes up in the home inspection, and you kind of have to take care of it. But yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
The market is hot right now.
It is. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us.
Yeah. Thanks for having
today.
me again.
This was fun.
Yeah. Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. See you.